Hi all. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to one and all of you. We are fortunate here, and I've been a part of this discussion. This is Bhumi from Central Infotech, and I'm lucky to be a part of a company whose vision is about passionately creating solutions which are enabled through technology for end users in order to empower them to do their to live their lives much more happily. I'm happy to introduce my team members. I have Rignesh and Abhijit with me.
I am Rignesh, taking care of solution designing and occasionally doing project management role as well.
Hi guys, I am Abhijit. I am a cloud solution architect and DevOps lead.
Thanks guys. Additionally, I would want to say that Rignesh has a little more over 10 years of an experience, more than a decade in the industry, whereas Abhijit is relatively a younger star here. He is a little more over 7 years. And together we would try and present our thoughts on what we think from our experience as are going to be the forthcoming needs of the solutions from IT by the enterprises. Trying to bring up the right point, as in, what is that which we are trying to bring on the board from our experiences about. Since we've been creating certain applications for companies over a period of little more than 16 years by now, we understand that there are people who will be using these solutions and applications, and we definitely have to start thinking about them first. Now today's enterprises would need their solutions to be used by different type of people. I mean, you have employees, you have customers, you have vendors, all together collaborating under one portal, under one solutions, all of them working towards a common goal of providing the right kind of information data to the system so that it can generate good business insights.
That's correct.
Apart from that, each of these users would try to use the same solution from different type of devices. I mean, just to see here, we have different sizes of the devices which we are using, and each employee, when they are given the flexibility to work from different devices and different locations, the same application or the same solution is expected to behave seamlessly and give the right user experience to each of the user. Having said that, we also understand it's a very obvious fact that current enterprise will never would want to build everything from scratch. So there would be existing systems, and then a team is supposed to build something over top of it to resolve a particular business challenge. So in that context, there are existing multiple type of systems which the new system will have to collaborate with and then generate the objective out of it. So when we summarize different dimensions like number of people who are working, multiple type of devices that we are supposed to handle, and multiple type of systems that we are supposed to handle, when we put all these things together, we understand that this becomes a completely heterogeneous environment, creating a hybrid ecosystem, and the modern generation solutions are supposed to behave, supposed to be implemented across these systems and still serve the purpose of the solution of a particular business challenge. So within that context, let us bring up, I just visualize, we've been working on some things together where we had worked on some traditional things, and now we have been through the journey of moving ahead.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. You are bang on to that. Believe me, when I was in my engineering days, right, I was always fascinated by having a lot of microcontroller programming and how it used to work for those legacy assembly code. I still cannot imagine that how I compiled those codes, right? And then moving from that, it was the days where I had a blue screen and it used to say C and C++ codes are compiled. And then from those days, then we have rich user interface. We came up with Java. Then there is an era of .NET came in, and then now we are where we are at the moment. And when possibly around 2002 and 2003, when I was writing applications, right, it was an application. Users were fascinated by using their computers. You know, they were having computers in front of them, they were using the application, and then they were so happy. And for me as a developer, someone like me, where I'm able to program a button, I was so happy to see that it's something called a drag and drop onto that. So starting from classical VB and then VC++ and then ASP, ASP.NET, and then combination of multiple technologies started coming in. So eventually, you know, we moved from applications to solutions, and you know, market is evolving, market is demanding, and there is no more application demand now. There are solutions demand, and solutions as a market, you know, as a legacy system coming up. Now, the major challenge at that time was, you know, playing with the data. I had, you know, floppy drives of 64K. Come on, I can't think of.
It can't be
We
real.
really can't think of though we were using it.
Yes, yes, and those 64K, I still can remember how I used to manage. If my number line goes more, and it's absolutely, you know, not possible for me to store that file as a program over there. But then there was an expectation of data being played, a lot of data being inserted by the user, and then, you know, data visualization and all those stuff. But I think, Abhijit, you know.
Yeah, I have been through this phase, and I would say it was the golden days, but in a bad way. Because blue black screen, all that we had, all the black consoles we had.
Yeah.
But truly speaking, in a serious note, data has evolved a lot in this period. So we used to have the old rack and all the servers in place. We have the huge, as you have clearly mentioned, the floppy drive. And even you can imagine floppy drive was like our system.
Yes.
Well, nowadays laptop is equals to the, at that time, floppy drive.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
So storing that data into the system was a great challenge over there. You won't believe at 80s, we have only 1% of data stored in a digital form. Now in last 2007, we had a survey and 94% came into picture. And that is of 9 years gap. So now I would say 100% what data has came into picture.
Yes.
So, but we have to understand there are some data that has been taped, which are historical data that is not more used. So there are a lot of things has evolved slowly. Like for example, what is the smartness? In your introductory speech, you have given the example of smartness, right? So what the smartness was and what the smartness is now. Smartness was converting analog radio into a digital platform.
Yes.
That was the smartness at 80s. My father used to say, okay, we got the digital radio now. And now it came down to that, okay, now we have a smartphone, we have devices that can automatically read our mind, change the channels, and this is the technology growing nowadays.
Yeah, so when you mentioned the technology growth, I think we had platforms like Fox Pro where the data and the coding layer was on the same.
I did coding in Fox Pro.
Yeah. When you talk of moving ahead, then there was a different database. Then when you moved ahead, then there were different database types. So you had SQL, so structured data, then the XML data, and the CSV data, a lot of different types
Now
of
we
it.
came down to unstructured data. Even we can store and manage unstructured
Right.
data.
So during this whole evolution and the journey, I think now it has become a mandate that we should look forward and into the next arena. So that's where I think we cannot miss out from really capturing the data, not by asking the user to enter it in some form or the screen, but by picking it up by some other device.
Yes.
That's what IoT stands for. Then actually storing it in such a way that it is accessible across the globe, a common platform where it gives us a seamless experience, and then actually putting a technology together to generate some insights out of it.
Yes, absolutely correct.
So I think it's a real good combination of IoT, cloud and data science, which put together will be able to serve, allow us to serve the future
Absolutely correct, and that's where we are trying to focus and highlight towards the enterprise solutions coming forward. I would just like to drive all of us through some of the insights of IoT that we have been playing around since quite a long time now.
Yeah.
And eventually, IoT is not a new term now. It has evolved. Since 1999, IBM has been using it, and believe me, operational technology had this since years. And those operational technologies were more focusing on to physical layer, where devices were being played over there, and the physical layer was having a lot of sensors onto that. Now those sensors, then we had actuators, and then we have multiple devices playing for those roles. Now we have analog sensors, and then eventually it evolved to digital sensors. And then this OT, got married with IT. And we had a baby called IoT.
Right.
And that's where the IoT is moving forward, because eventually the market and enterprise specifically realize the impact of IT, realize the importance of IT, and then they move forward. Now IoT has evolved in a way, I would not like to take the journeys that IoT has evolved, but the state of IoT is in a way where it's going to be forward. It's going to be a lot of connectivity to be done, and most probably it's between machine to machines that's happening. And when I talk from machine to machine, now the challenges that has been overcome are introducing some of the connectivity technology called LoRaWAN, where we have low range WANs available because batteries are really, electricity has to, it's a challenge to be made.
Yeah.
And then we have specifically Bluetooth protocol defined called Bluetooth 4.0, and that Bluetooth 4.0 is called Bluetooth LTE as well, where low range devices are communicating onto that. Now that has evolved, and then moving to the next layer where data has to be managed. Now that's where cloud evolved, cloud came into the picture, and I'm able to push a lot of data onto that. And that has been evolved, and that's happening now. But what beautiful thing happened is that a lot of things have started happening as an edge analytics. Things are happening on the edge, things are being performed on the edge, and a lot of decisions are being taken from the edge. Now let me take you through a journey. Bhumi, you are purely an electronics graduate, right? It has been 2 decades now for you being electronics industry. I have a chip. This is an Arduino kit, and there is a small microcontroller onto that with MB of RAMs and ROM entered into that. Now if you imagine during those days you have to write a piece of code onto this and you have to compile, what would be challenge for you to write that on
I don't want to go it. I have programmed on 8085 and I don't want to go back to
Alright, so those were challenges, right? It was a nightmare for the guys that were. But I'm not an electronics graduate. I'm an IT graduate. Nowadays it just takes me 4 hours to learn a programming onto this. I can write a C code, compile it, and send those instructions onto this microcontrollers, right? And let me give you an example of using this. If I'm into the room, and in my room, my temperature goes above 35 degrees centigrade, and I want to switch on the air conditioner. Now really I cannot wait for my circuit to send the data to cloud, and then cloud taking decision that should my air conditioner be on or off. Obviously, right?
Yeah.
And then it has to be on edge. So now this circuit has matured that way. Even this is one of the circuit called Raspberry. I've been writing a piece of code. Here is a slot for the memory card. I can put my memory card in. I can load a mini OS. A micro operating systems are available. So Google has launched the OS as of now. We have Microsoft Windows 10 IoT code running on this, and I can really write a multi-threading code on this.
Multi-threading on this is a good idea.
Yeah, OS is there,
Yes.
right? So that is quite possible.
Yes, and this edge analytics, has evolved, and it's helping me to, combine the data onto that, and I can beautifully do anything using my edge analytics.
That's great. I mean, but when you do something on edge analytics, apart from that, when you have a lot of data, that needs to be stored on a particular platform.
Right? Yes, at that age we have certain building data, but that has to be stored, that has to be managed. For example, I'm giving a statistical analysis that in basketball ground or throw ball ground, there are lot of actions have been performed or bits have been performed, right? So there are footprints in place. So all this data has to go somewhere, there has to be analyzed, and how they, even nowadays, players have been analyzing this, how they are performing, right? So the sports industry has evolved a lot. Even in the research field, for example, I want to understand how a tree is behaving. Okay, so these kind of things, this data has to go somewhere, has to be analyzed. This and the communication between the devices. First, what is the communication between us? We are communicating. Can we imagine a thing that our laptop will communicate between each other? Our devices will
and from those devices perspective, it has been now very easy. Now, if I am a programmer, you have been a Java programmer, right? On those days. So now technologies are not a limitation. If you're working on IoT, I can write my C# code, I can write my Java code, I can write my Python code. Python comes with microOS as well, and I can play with my IoT devices. So I can do multiple kind of computing using my IoT devices.
Right.
And then the problem starts when I need to accumulate the data, because a lot of noisy data would be generated from this.
So I was coming to when you're generating so much of data from so many different type of chips and circuits, and so many different type of connectivity options.
Yeah.
There should be the problem of standardization.
Yes.
Because when okay, typically when I think of an application or a web application, I understand it very clearly that I am building it on the OS layers and it's
Yeah.
going to be delivered through HTTP protocol, and there are certain standards.
Yes,
Whereas
absolutely
I-
correct. So I think we both have been to the conferences where there are representatives from Samsung and Microsoft and IBM. So basically what is happening is now that all these bigger organizations are forming a consortium and they are trying to come up with a standardization. But as each company has started very early into the consumer market for the IoTs, they have come up with their own protocols and their own standards onto that. So they are still forming the consortium, they are still forming the standards, and it's at the formation level, but that doesn't stop the consumer market
obviously.
and enterprise market.
I think when this is about on the transport layer and the
Yeah.
chip
Yeah.
level, but when it comes to cloud, I think there's a lot of standardization.
Yes, there are lots and lots of standardization, and the thought process was that when we go to the cloud, there was a thought that whether my data would be secure,
Obviously,
right? Because these
so
are
the
data.
data like healthcare and all these aspects, I don't think.
There are much more sensitive data. For example, if what happens if my HR domain, entire finance and
Yes.
HR domain data goes to public.
Right.
It is a very critical and prospect. So there are a lot of compliances done. A protocols has been set by AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. They are main leaders, I would say. So, but going over there, we have to think when we design our infrastructure, our architecture, there are a lot of models we have to
Okay.
follow. But when we say we design our architecture, you might ask a simple question. We have the data centers, right?
Right.
They are having our data
Yes.
centers.
Correct.
Where we come in place, they will do everything for us. It's not like that. We design our architecture. That is a system-less architecture. We are not defining our servers. We are not like,
Yeah.
but we are architecturing the entire solution. That means we use the services. We manage their servers. We manage their networking part. That are the things coming into picture. But what are the things? Like we are having a public cloud, we are having a private cloud, we are having a hybrid cloud. There are
Okay.
lots of things coming into picture.
Okay.
If I go for trends and all these things, first it was like cloud only, cloud first. That okay, let's go to cloud. Prospect, come
Yes,
on.
yes, yes. I was also very excited when
Yeah.
I heard a lot of
No,
cloud.
there's something new, and
New
whether it's a
in the
fade or it's
market.
going to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just come on, let's go into cloud.
Yeah.
It's a new trend. Let's try it.
Yeah.
That phase has been completed, and the hype has gone. Now it has matured. Now it is cloud only. And the Gartner said by 2020, $1 trillion business is coming into the market. So that is quite awesome. The figures are. So
Surely.
slowly and gradually it is evolving. Yeah, Azure, like Google has already 4% of sale. Amazon, the leader, 31% holding the ground. Azure is not behind, 9%.
No, believe me, there are a lot of stuff that Microsoft Azure is coming with.
Yeah.
Okay, and Microsoft Azure has, since its long journey now, they have started dedicated IoT services. They provide app services onto that. They provide app fabrics over there, dedicated IoT hubs over there. And just to make it popular and for the developers like me to really test the platform, that am I able to play with my Raspberry Pi and my C# code, connect it to Azure, and then I will see my data. Even though I can write my Python code to write, to talk to my
IoT is
Azure.
already a platform that cloud is providing.
Absolutely,
Giving
and
a platform to you.
yes, I've been working on ThinkSpeak Cloud. Now there are cloud available by Intel. There are cloud available by other chip providers as well, because they are trying to provide a unified platform.
Even
Adafruit.
AWS and Azure also have their
Yes.
IoT platforms.
So in Azure, I have been doing that. For me as a developer, it provides me 3,000 messages per day and 10 devices to be controlled and monitored within a day.
Right.
But that's sufficient for me to play with.
more than enough.
With these stats that CFOs are putting up, what I understand is there is going to be a huge chunk of data which is going to be stored,
Yes.
thrown and stored on the server. And definitely with the foreign enterprise, what means is, what do I do with this data?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
So ultimately what is meaningful is processing of this data in a right manner and presenting it in a visually understandable, readable format which can be transformed into some decision.
Yeah.
So
You won't believe that data science we talk about, that is the main prospect and everyone is vibing on that. The data science has evolved 800 AD. After death of Jesus Christ, 800 years, that has evolved at that time. On what level? Transforming the cryptographic code. Okay.
Yeah.
At that time, from that time, the statistics and everything
So
is
you mean
coming
to
up.
say IT guys are expert in shaping up new jargons for
Yes, that's true. That old things, but it has evolved in a way when the boom happened, www, so everything comes into the world, everyone start connecting each other, the world has become narrow, it has shrinked a lot. So at that time, how we analyze the data, how we think in that direction, where the data comes into picture and how the things goes on is very critical. In our field, when I play around with the data, when I have my teams and discuss, we call it as sexy and beast of data.
Yeah.
Some data are very fertile, they are very enormous, they can quickly deliver, and some are huge. You have to take decisions.
There's a lot of noise around.
Yes, not lot of noise, lot of distraction of the data. But how data comes in? We have to think. We have to logically give a life cycle to it, because everyone has a life. So if I say this device has a life and it is communicating with you, so data is also having a life.
Yeah, that's correct.
And which phases does it,
Yes.
pass through to make it
Yeah.
a meaningful?
Yeah. So that is, we collect the data. Yeah, IoT is a very good platform to collect data. We get a lots of data into it.
Yes, and a lot of noisy data.
Yes, I agree. I have a pain when I get that data.
Yes, and that's where
So
you
what
know,
do you do beyond this to
Yeah.
actually interpolate it correctly and present it to users?
Right. When data comes into me, I store it. So there are a lot of platforms. Cloud is a good platform to store it. In cloud, which services we will be using? Hadoop is there. Big data analysis like MongoDB also we can store. Lots of platforms are there to store the data over
Yeah.
there. And now we have to, after storing, after collecting, after storing, we have to transfer it, make a logical end
Yeah.
to it, right? Give a business perspective to it,
Yeah.
right?
That's
So
correct.
we use BI technologies like you have worked into the BI,
Yeah,
right?
so business intelligence, let me put a case study that I was working for one of the project. Business intelligence was a key component. I was getting more than 10 gigs of data every day. Handling and managing those was a big pain. And then there was a proposition of having a business intelligence into that. And basically the role of that was purely for identifying the orphan records.
Mhm.
Okay, cleansing the data. And how I used to do that, using ETL jobs I used to run, so it's extract, transform and load.
Mhm.
And then doing those extraction, transformation and loading of that, what would make sense is running some intelligence onto it to derive to infer the data coming into that. And then we used to move it to data warehouses, but data warehousing, it's all different science altogether.
Yep. See, storing a 10 gig of data,
Yeah,
what happens if it is unstructured?
yeah.
Think in that perspective, right? Then we won't be able to just solve it by RDBMS and unstructured data like
Yeah.
Hadoop, as I already mentioned. Cassandra has come up, Facebook has evolved a lot onto that. We have also worked on the Cassandra and we are going ahead with that. MongoDB is there. These are the storage platforms which we think, and then, but when all this kind of data comes into, we have to think in this manner. Give a meaning, give a model to it, give the reason to it, give a conceptual platform to it. So all these things comes as mobility have evolved. There is a strategy we define to it in terms of data. But after we give all these things, give reason to it, give a model to it, then also we are lagging behind.
Yeah.
This is only the knowledge,
Yes.
not
Correct.
the wisdom. Data has not derived the wisdom yet. So giving the wisdom to the data is with sentimental analysis, predictive analysis. Just imagine our share market is running on algo now. How
Yeah.
they do that?
Yeah.
They analyze the data that comes into the market. They're in the share market, you won't believe there are huge reports coming in every day, every minute,
Yeah.
and they analyze them.
Yeah.
Each and every segments. So there come the sentiment analysis, info, prediction, visualization prospect,
Right.
right? At that moment we go till the data.
Again, connecting from then and now, what I understand is apart from
Yeah.
just a technology, just a database platform, and just generating some reports and with some coding skills, some DBA skills,
Mm.
delivery is possible. What I understand from now is having statistical analytical capability built over usage of these technology platforms
Correct.
is going to be a critical need.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, at the same time, when we say that, all these technology platforms, using them rightly, putting that statistical everything there,
Correct.
there are two parts to, serving the enterprise customers. One part is bringing up a solution,
Yeah.
and other part is operating it.
Right.
That's correct.
Seeing that it goes into the live mode and it runs its, I guess to make it smooth, it is also equally important that we follow the right kind of engineering practices for
Yeah.
you know,
That's
building the whole solution, and
That's
we
correct.
also follow the right kind of practices for maintaining.
Right, right.
Yeah, and if you're talking about the engineering practices, for some of my previous implementations, right, I used to do a lot of management role into that, and believe me, we have software engineering practices group within Siemens, and I used to approach them with all different kind of projects that I have been.
And also part of ISO and CMMI level 3.
Oh yes, so ISO
Yes.
CMMI level 3, and I used to go approach our engineering practices team, and then I used to say that this is the challenge that this project needs to start, or this solution needs to start into the implementation, and they would come up, all right, Vignesh, are you going to do agile? Hang on, why are you asking me that? And they said, all right, so I will not ask agile, do you want to do Scrum? Hang on, why are you focusing, pushing me onto the Scrum? My definition unclear now. All right, if your definition not clear, would you like to go towards lean? Because I see your applications more onto the maintenance. I think Kanban is more appropriate. But then there were some sections or some applications within the solution that didn't had those scope there. So they told, all right, Vignesh, you should be doing either waterfall or you should be doing either iterative increment onto that, because your scope is really not at all clear and your stakeholders are not available. You cannot be lean and agile onto that. And those were the challenges for the application that I used to work with a big team. And then the problem was more to the operations.
Yeah, rightly said. Operation is, as there is a part, development and operation.
Yeah.
They are closely coupled.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of competition between them. I would say the development team would say, okay boss, it is working in my system, works on my system.
Yeah.
That is a thing.
I always used to get those compliments from my team members. It works on my system.
Yeah, but it doesn't work on my production. Why? So, a new terminology, I would not say it is a new, because it has been into the market, DevOps. So,
Again, one more jargon.
yes, I am good with jargons. Being a DevOps lead, I will use my word. Yeah. So, DevOps, it has been nothing but few person from development, few person from operation coming together, empowering them with the right tools, provide a streamlined solution. Project management and process, practices and everything is at the initial level. Now we have to implement it in the life cycle, right?
Yeah.
So we use, what happens if I take the code from you and put it on the production? Didn't nightmare, go away. So what happens? We use SCM. Right?
Okay.
Git, as everyone know. That easy
Source control management.
Yes, source control management.
Okay.
So it is a day-to-day activity we do now. It is not a whole thing, but it makes a process easy. Continuous integration, automation testing.
Believe me, I would have need that, because release management was really pain for me, and then I was running behind to get something into the continuous integration and
And
continuous.
you need to have the right tools in place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just imagine how we have deployed in my old days. Now if I give you a platform, click on it, deployment done. All your 90 servers done.
Then are there any tools that can help me to do this deployment?
Urban deploy is there. Integrate your solutions, test it, automate it. Continuous integration is there. Put your jargons into it.
Alright.
Click on the urban deploy button. Gone. Into production live. But even it would give you the guarantee it is tested properly.
Wow. That makes sense for me,
Yeah.
because
So-
when I'm running into operations, my operations guys are running wild. Believe me, if some certain thing breaks, it breaks a lot of my.
Now we are having a platform where there is a zero downtime. That is the achievable point. We can say we are 99.9%
Exactly.
sure that there won't be any downtime in the release.
Yes, and exactly that's where the enterprise solution expectations are evolving. They are as a service, they are online, they are always available. There is no downtime appreciated at all.
No.
And that's where
Amazon releases 24 release per second. Can you imagine?
24 releases per second.
Yeah. That is a
That's
very
interesting
I have
figure.
been to a seminar where they have only clearly stated that we are doing like this. There are a lot of platforms into it. So one platform doesn't get interrupted where other platform is being released. So there is a proper planning done, proper pipeline set. So DevOps does provide the proper tools to minimize the flaw in the system.
Wow, that's great.
So,
Yeah, so that's where really practicing those engineering practices and
We can have a good night's sleep, boss.
Yes.
After release, I can go home and sleep. Otherwise, we are doing like
That's
that.
fine. Yeah.
okay, so I think having talked about what we used to develop and deliver earlier, and what kind of tools we used to use, what kind of approaches we used to take, what are the new trends and platforms and technologies that we have to adopt.
Yeah.
Since lately I have been a part of marketing team since maybe 2-3 years, and you guys are closer in terms of delivery to the customers,
Yes.
and being a part of certain solution deliveries as services. We can discuss out and understand, how, what are those things, when we ourselves understand these platforms, tools and technologies
Yeah.
to a level, and we are also delivering certain solutions as a service.
Yeah.
So, how have you applied it, and how do you engage with these platforms
Yes.
and build your future roadmap for these solutions?
Yeah, so I can give up an example, right? Because if we are talking solutions and solutions, then it would make sense if we have done something in solutions.
Exactly. So, if we are able to bring up some example on the platform where we are able to say, we actually made this, and this is what is its current state, and this is where we envision it in the future.
Yeah.
And for that, we are doing something on our center of excellence.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Means being a part of Center of Excellence as well, where we do researching and some prototyping onto that. We have been doing that onto the commerce domain. So we have our solutions running onto the commerce domain, and the next thing that we are trying to introduce onto that is for the augmented and the virtual reality. Let me give an example, because when we went for some of the communications with the bigger customers, they came up with the questions that your solution is just as usual as what other solutions are. So what are your unique offerings? And then we ask them that what are your pain points? Then they see the pains are real pain point, right? Now say I'm going to buy an apparel, right? And I'm going to buy a shirt. Now if it's a two-dimensional view, right? I'm not really inclined to see a picture of that.
Yeah.
I can feel the color, how it looks on me. And then, we came up with the propositions, we did some prototyping for that, but we can have a three-dimensional view of the apparel that you're going to view. Now that was also beautiful, they appreciated that demo, the prototyping was good, but then it was not a feel, it was not a feel. And then at that point of time, Pokemon Go, we all know, we have been playing with that.
Crazy.
And going on to those augmented reality fundamentals, we are trying to do some prototyping onto that, and that's really related to that. I'm standing in front of the mirror, I'm turning on my mobile, I'm turning on my camera, and just I'm picking the apple that I want to wear, and it really shows that how I look if I wear that.
It recalls one of your team members was working on some solution which was about the specs.
Oh yes.
So I take my picture on the
Yes.
phone, and then I set a frame, and then set the size of the frame,
Yeah.
and then I find out how am I looking,
Yeah.
and then I wanted that
you really
share it
do.
with few friends and find out which frame is
Even
looking
you can
good.
chat and share your picture, and then you can
Yeah.
get the
And
result.
believe me, you can really do like this. How I look like this? Okay, this is good. Oh, all right, this is good. Yeah, this was good for me. That is where we are trying to improvise the solutions into that, and that's what we really mean by having a next generation enterprise solutions. And for some of our other examples that we are working on some of our HR solutions that we are into, and in that HR solution we are doing a lot of IoTs into that. We have done biometric sensor integration to that. Employee attendants are really marked with fingerprint sensors, but those are again now this is a common
Yeah,
solution.
they are what are being used since some
And
years.
HR domain, if you talk about HR domain, I have already spoken about. The main pain area is the data,
Yes.
right? And how secure it is. So if I talk about only security, there will be an entire session on the cloud. So how secure it is. And we have a model like public cloud, hybrid cloud, where your in-house data remain in-house, but your end edge is exposed to the world via public cloud. So a hybrid cloud can be easily established, and we have done that in our HR.
I think that was a question in my mind, that when there is an HR solution, and when my employees are working remotely, when they are on travel, when they are on customer ends and on site, and working from home also, and then they connect to our systems, and then they still want You know that they should be working on the same system as they work in the
That's where we are trying to
devices.
prototype using IoTs. So now IoT, started from the application being more smart, and
Yeah.
now smart being more smart devices being more tiny devices, and those tiny devices are really helping us to understand what's happening with our employees and at what location they are. So it doesn't matter from where they are working, but we are all together over there.
Gives a lot of flexibility to
Yes.
the employees. Even the
Yes,
data collection
absolutely right.
becomes very
The
easy.
data collection, if you talk about not only in the HR domain, even
Yeah.
if in the real scenario, just imagine your transport domain. If I just pick another
Yeah,
domain, over there, the buses. Now buses becoming smart. It's like a imagination story, a fairy tale, I would say. One bus can communicate with other. For example, meaning of the data if I speak, coming into the ground that one bus is at latitude longitude this much. If I say this to you, does that make sense? No,
No, it
doesn't make sense. If I say your bus will come in 5 minutes,
Yeah.
based on the data latitude longitude I get on
Absolutely
my
correct.
application, I can analyze it, put forward to you. You can judge that okay, my bus is coming in 5 minutes.
Again,
I will go.
where we started is for a solution. What makes a critical part is the
Yeah.
user,
Yes.
who's going to be the
Absolutely
end
right.
consumer of
Yeah.
the solution.
Yes, and I can put up one more case study which we are again working on the prototyping is for the field sales management, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the pain point of field sales management is they're always designated jobs. You have to bang on, hit, and then move on to that. Now, when I am onto the field, I have obviously each of my field sales have a smartphone with them, and if I am on my way, and if my mobile suggests that this is the shop that you are targeting, or this is the location that you are targeting for this X category of the business, and there are these businesses surrounding which might be of your interest, and that's an unpredictable sell which
Yeah.
my manager would like to have it.
And just
Right.
imagine behind the technology,
Yeah.
what is going on behind the technology. When you go into the real scene, when you go into a particular station, we
Yeah.
get your location
Yeah.
and we search.
Correct.
The cloud provide, I would say cloud provide, there is a technology like Elasticsearch are there,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And AWS has already integrated it within them. So
Yeah.
we can directly use, EMRs are there, so that all things club together.
Yeah.
And all these things are there. So that clubbing all this together, this technology, these jargons I would say, coming together, give a solution that the user really need, that serve a solution.
So,
Right.
so although being into the in the team of the technologists, I am normally a person who hates jargons, but I guess getting them rightly
Yeah.
to be used for the right application
Yes.
will definitely create a solution which
Right.
can cater to a
And
hybrid ecosystem.
those were the hybrid ecosystems and enterprise solutions.
Smart solutions.
And all of the solutions that we have been working for are as a service offering. So we do understand cloud in a really better sense. We do understand what are as a service offerings and what are the pain points for the B2B and B2C segment to carry those forward for their customers. Even we are now targeting B2B2B and B2B2C segments for our commerce solutions, for our HR solutions, and then even we have been publishing solutions as well. And now those are really making sense into the market. So we are innovating for the next generation solution, and we want to really have a technological platform that contributes over there.
So I mean, as a team, we want to work forward towards our vision of putting
Yeah.
technology together, coming out with a solution
Yes.
which completely connects to an end
Absolutely
user
right.
and empowers their life.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yes, absolutely right.
I think we've put up a lot of things on the table, and we would and
Sure.
it would be a good justice if we are able to summarize in one sentence which comes from you.
Well,
As in, what would you want the audience to remember?
For my audiences, right, I have been onto the era where applications were demanded and moved to the era where solutions are demanded. And I'm really riding high on IoTs because it's really a hype, but it's worth. So for me, the takeaway would be ride the hype. The ride is bumpy, the ride is slumpy, but it's guaranteed. It's
I will
guaranteed.
ride the hype. I will ride
Yeah.
the hype with an elephant and riding a bicycle. That would help. So riding the hype
Yep.
with perfect tools. Platform, cloud is there. Data science is there to support you.
Absolutely correct. So that's fine. I can't just have IoT doing everything, right?
Right. So
I need your
yes, and I need you to get my data.
Yes.
Correct. So understanding from you guys what I would put forward as a takeaway is, you know, since I have been into IT for a long journey, and I also see what is going on currently, what is demanded in future, what I would understand and what I would want to put forward is, you know, you need to understand what is your current present demand. You also need to understand where your market is moving, and you need to create a right balance between looking ahead and you know,
Present.
working into present to you cater to your customers.
Right.
Yes.
So that's what could be.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. The hype. That's nice.
Be sound with the technology.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely correct.
I think we have taken some time for audience questions also. So can we have the questions, please? By the time we get the questions, we would, from the panel, I would want to put forward that into today's discussion, we covered a lot of things. We understood and we knew that we are trying to touch upon multiple points and subjects together.
Yeah.
However, while we were preparing, thinking about, you know, we have some thoughts in mind, and when we want to put those thoughts forward to some people, then what is the sequence in which it should be placed? Whether we should bring IoT, just IoT, we should bring just data science, we should bring just edge analytics, or what? And during that journey, I think we could not conclude that the first interaction should cover only one thing, and that's where we landed up saying that
Right.
at least the first interaction should cover the major aspects of the whole ecosystem, its demands, and what goes inside delivering those.
Absolutely.
However, this was something which we thought of earlier, that you know, now since these guys have brought up a lot of jargons on the table, we would still want to you know, cover each of them in depth in our further series.
Correct, that's
And I think our team would come and talk to you as to what would be your preference of you know, diving deeper into which topic first, and then we can
Discuss further.
bring that
Yeah.
expertise on the webinar.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think nothing
Yeah,
less
yeah,
would be
means,
that more than that.
Sure.
So here we have some questions. Okay. The first question someone has is, you know, although there are many of them, I think the first thing that we would put forward is when what people are interested in knowing is when you say there is a bumpy and humpy and slumpy,
Yeah.
and still you should write the IoT, you know, but then it needs to be little explained upon, you know, why you are saying it is bumpy,
Yeah.
and why you are saying, you know, you must go for it, but then
Yes, so because the bumpy means that there are a lot of hypes onto that, but that hype doesn't mean the solution being catered from your side are met. You know, there are protocols, there are standards, but those standards are really, you know, standards for those ecosystem or those community as well. Now, let me take an example that if I go for my Adafruit, you know, for Arduino circuit that I have bring a Mega 2650 board, and in that I have to play with, you know, only my C programming skills. Now that's good. I can have anyone who understands basic programming, and I write my programming onto that. And as soon as I move forward, right, and the next challenge for me is getting those data to cloud. Now getting those data to cloud is I have to do some combining onto that, and then that requires a different skill. Now that's a bump. Whoa, hold on. Then I need to run something different. Now, you know, I understand that Python is very handy. You know, when I write a piece of code in Python, I used to write object-oriented programming in C++, then VC++, and then C#, and I do write it in Python, and I feel Python is really easy. It took me 4 hours just to understand what is scopes in Python, and I have compiled my first Hello World code using that. So that was a bump I managed, and slumpy in the sense that, you know, sometimes standards are so open. They are so open that I need to put an extra effort to parse those and to understand those. So those bumpy and slumpiness are there, but that's an era of open source. You know, when there was a Linux era, there was a lot of open source era, zero documentation, and then you have to dive in. He would know, right? You're playing a lot on the open source.
Yeah.
So, and then you dive in, you have to be part of the slum and come out of this. But the solutions provided into the market, they have their products now. We have a lot of IoT products as a consumer products available in the market. So they have been part of that bump, they have been part of the slum, and they are commercially getting into the market. So this was very clear message. Ride the hype, as simple as that. So I think.
So you mean to say there are a lot of challenges on standardization. There are a lot of challenges on security aspects. There are a lot of challenges
Yes.
on the uniformity in terms
Yes.
of vendors and devices. But still, it is something
Yes,
which
yes.
should
You
not be
need
missed.
to- Right. And it is in a verge of maturing. The
Yeah.
IoT is maturing day by day.
Right. So I think we have a lot of questions, and if we can request our organizers that we can send answers over the email or maybe on the webinar conversations.
Yeah.
If it would work, then probably otherwise we might be running out of the time. So can we do that? I think.
Yeah.
I think, guys, we thank you so much for your
Yeah,
valuable
thank you
time,
very
Thank
and
you.
we hope we have been able to share some value on this platform. We definitely look forward from each of you to provide your preferences within our survey, as in what do you want us to carry forward in our further series, and I think that's the same thing. We would be covering up each of your questions in as much coverage as possible on our one-to-one conversations. At the same time, we would also love to answer your email messages if you want. I think our team will send you our contact details whenever needed. You can get back to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.